Welcome back, everyone, to episode 2 of Jays Today, and we're live at the Nest.
First off, shout out to Niall Davis, boys cross country runner who set the school record.
Yep, and another shout out, Riley Vanderlyn in 3 receiving touchdowns in his first varsity game.
Final quick little shout out, the new scoreboard at the field I thought was really cool on Friday.
And the new turf, it's pretty nice. Also, shout out to our fans. We got like over 600 views on YouTube.
Yeah, and we had a whole 11 listens on Spotify, so it's pretty good.
Hey, the Hawkeyes got more points than that.
Even though I'm a Hawkeye fan, that was a great game. Good for that kicker, one of the only people on Iowa State that actually is from Iowa.
Yeah. That Cy-Hawk trophy is going to Ames right now. All right, moving into our football team. Two tough losses out of, 2 leads. Jesper, I don't know much, but what do you think?
Well, North Polk, I thought the offense clicked right away in the first half and then settled down in the second half, but just got to bounce back from those losses. And, well, I say losses because last Friday against Grinnell, kind of a similar thing. We had a early lead in the game and just kind of collapsed a little bit and lost it. But I think we've seen some good stuff. Ryder Millers seems to be getting in on every single tackle. Riley's playing really well. Like we shouted them out earlier, 3 touchdowns. I think the story for them is just bounce back.
I think also the story for them, we have a lot of players playing 3 ways, offense, defense, special teams. It's hard on players when they don't have much time on the sideline to recover.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully later in the season we have some depth guys, some hidden gems that are found. Maybe they're playing JV right now and they get way better and can fill some of those spots. So guys don't have to go 3 ways.
They're gonna move into another tough matchup, week 3 against Waverly. But hopefully we can get some home momentum there.
I'm excited for this Waverly game. There's been some recent history the last couple years. 2 years ago when we lost to them.
In the quarterfinal.
In the quarterfinal.
That was tough.
Quarterfinal, yeah. But last year, we went to their home field and beat them bad. We scored in the 50s.
Might be hard to get in the 50s right now, but if we can get hot, get some good connections, and then keep that momentum going throughout the game, maybe we can get it done.
Yeah, and after the Waverly game, we're going to have an even tougher opponent when we go up to Lewis Central, who just won the state championship, but we beat them last year.
We are not going to want to walk into this thing 0-3.
Yes, for sure. I think if things click against Waverly, and then they could click against Lewis Central too, and we have a shot.
Yeah, we need to get Waverly to get some momentum going into the next game.
Takes is one big Blake Guthrie run, some nice throws by Jordan, catches from Landon, tackles by Ryder. The line plays well, and I think we have a shot.
All right. Moving on to volleyball. Volleyball is 6-5 on the season right now. Well, I'm no expert on volleyball, so let us introduce you our first guest of the show, senior captain Mia Keith. Mia, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. You had a pretty impressive win over Gilbert last week. Tell us what you think of it as a whole.
Well, it was a sweep, obviously, so that was really nice. It boosted our confidence a lot, helped our younger team, and it impacted a lot of things on our season, I think. We were able to persevere throughout the sets, our first set being 30-28.
Nice. There's no denying you're a young team. How are you adapting to that structure?
Yeah, I mean, we all meshed really well together at the beginning of the season. Our younger ones are being able to step up and play at a higher level of volleyball. And I think we all are just a confident team overall and play really well.
As the season continues, what are your keys to success?
I think to be able to trust our training and having a mentality of next fall, as we're a young team, so mistakes are going to happen. Nobody is perfect. It's the game of volleyball. So being able to just persevere through long sets, including our game against Gilbert, having a 30-28 first set, 27-29 second set. It's a very good game.
When can we come watch a game?
September 17th, our first big game against Carlisle, 7 o'clock. It'll be a good one. They're ranked, so it'll be a great game to have a win under our belt.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
I'm super excited about volleyball. The start of their season has been good. Those Gilbert games were really good.
Yeah. When was the last time you've seen numbers like those? Just crazy. 3 sets of it, too. Just back to back to back.
Yeah, those are long, long games.
Like Mia said, it's just going to be those long games, have to persevere. And through those long games, they're going to have success.
Jays Today is sponsored in part by the Bondurant for Our Athletic Booster Club. Consider becoming a booster sponsor today. And if you're at the football game on Friday night, check out all the sweet Blue Jay merchandise they have stocked at the Jay Shop. This podcast is also supported by Vision Bank. For more than 140 years, Vision Bank has maintained its commitment to helping build strong communities. They have been locally owned and locally focused since 1884.
Moving into cross country, we now have our second guest of the show.
Yes, his name is Kyle Wagner. He's the head cross country coach. Kyle, tell us a little bit about how you fell in love with cross country.
Man, that's a good question. Like most kids, I wanted to play football, and I'm fairly remember I said I want to play football. My mom said, well, you got to do cross country, and in junior high at our small school, junior high cross country was 8th period practice, and then football was after school, so we could do both. Found out pretty quick I was not meant for football. Went to my first cross country practice, did pretty well. I think I got second at my first meet. I was like the first 7th grader, got beat by an 8th grader, and right then I was like, okay, I think this is for me.
Well, that just led into, your love led into coaching. You were our assistant coach for 2 years, and now you're our head coach. Talk about that transition.
Yeah, being an assistant was a lot different. I felt like I just would show up and go for runs with the team, and life was easy breezy. And now it's a whole new ball game of making sure we got transportation and food and team dinners, and everyone's passing classes and going to be gone certain days and balancing other sports. So it's a lot different, but we are carrying a lot of what Coach Bone did before. She built this amazing culture, a very fun team that works hard, and we just went and built off that. Doing a few things different, just for more comfortable for me, but carrying on a lot of what she did and how she led, and excited to just keep this thing going.
How's that leading into the first few meets of the season?
This team's rocking. I feel like we've had a ton of athlete buy-in over the last year, kids taking ownership of their own training, responsibilities of health, going to sleep, making those sacrifices year round. And they're doing other sports too, which is awesome. We encourage that, even if it's at the same time as cross country, we make it work. But that's the big thing, is these kids have just fallen in love with the sport like I have. I want kids to have similar experience that I had, make lifelong friends, lifelong memories, and see where it can take you.
And that's led into some pretty good success, especially on the boys' side. What's their projection?
Good question. Class 3A and 4A and 3A are so tough. We're in Class 3A. I'll start with the girls. I think it's coming on the girls' side. They've probably started to click just a little bit later than the boys. We have some like Autumn Harder, Bethany Gerton, Claire, Maddie Klinkenborg, and several others that have really just, again, fallen in love with the sport and want to make it their sport and see what they can do. So the girls' team success is coming. I can definitely feel it. And on the boys' side, we had that first ranking last week, being ranked 15th in Class 3A. Had a successful first meet, taking down 2 ranked 1A schools. They're smaller, but they're still really good programs. And then we went to Ames and did just fine against some really, really good 4A schools. So Excited for tomorrow at Winterset. I'm not sure when this will release, but we'll get to go up against some more level competition, 3A, especially conference foe Ballard. They're ranked right behind, or either right behind us, right in front of us right now. So excited to see how we stack up with them.
Yeah, definitely.
How exciting for you was Niall Davis breaking the school record?
It was. He had an awesome beginning of the year last year, and we didn't have quite the end of the season that we wanted. So I think that was some massive motivation for him. He's hungry this year. He's running faster than he did last year, obviously setting the school record by 4 seconds. Awesome to see high school Niall is faster than high school Kyle. He beat my high school PR by 1 second. So that's awesome. I love seeing athletes have success, especially when it's from our own school. It makes it mean even more. And just the joy in his face. I saw him running down the hill, all of his teammates chasing him, screaming, "Where's Coach Kyle? Where's Coach Kyle?" Because I got a bum foot right now. I can't walk too fast. And he just runs over and gives me a hug, and it was awesome. So very happy for him, and just excited to see what's to come. I know he's going to have a big season ahead.
Besides Niall, who are some other boys that are looking to make noise this year?
We've had a great group of juniors, and Brady Sanger and Jack Reek are two that, again, have really just bought into the sport. And they're good leaders for our younger class. We have two really good freshmen coming in that are running varsity right now, in Ryler Hansen and Clark Bennett. Just unreal. I think they were both top 12 at the junior high state meet last year. So to bring those in, them contributing right away. Braylon Welch Groves is another freshman currently sitting at our number 8 in our meets. So he hasn't been able to crack that varsity lineup yet. Two sophomores are Grady Gibson and Preston Francois, both varsity contributors a year ago. And here they are again back in the varsity lineup, are two again that have just bought into our message, bought into what we're trying to achieve as a team, which is really, really awesome. And then we have a ton of kids in the team that, I get that their main goal is not to be a varsity runner or qualify for the state meet. And that's the great thing about our sport, is we have spots for kids like that I just want an activity to do with my friends. Maybe along the way they find out I am pretty darn good at this thing and really start to enjoy it. But boys and girls, we got an awesome team. I love what we have. We have just over 50 kids out looking to grow. So if there's kids out there, come join cross country. We'll take you, find a home for you, and have you find a fun and sport that you enjoy.
You mentioned Clark Bennett, freshman. I have heard a little bit that he ran with one shoe
Yes.
at some point. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I was very impressed. His first meet. Normally in the first 100 meters, if someone falls down, they fire the gun, restart the race. Well, I had missed it. I walked the other way, they didn't fire the gun, so nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, Coach Heights texts me and says, Clark is running with his shoe in his hand. And I'm like, okay. If you can, tell him to either just stop, put it back on, or throw it. And then all of a sudden, Clark's 20 seconds from me, and I'm yelling hey, throw me your shoe, throw me your shoe. And he goes, I can't. It's got my timing chip on it. So he needed that to cross the finish line. So he carried that. He went back through the pack at the beginning of the race, picked up his shoe, and then slowly worked his way back up throughout the meet, and just didn't panic. Most kids in that situation would panic and just freak out and have a bad day. He ended up still finishing varsity for us. I think finished as our 6th runner that day. Just poise for a freshman was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a cool story.
Where can we see some of these athletes in action?
Yeah, we are at Winterset on Tuesday. I know that one's a bit of a drive. Our closest meets are probably Ballard and North Polk. Ballard next Monday. That one's a fun one. It's a little awkward. You got to go to the school, take a shuttle to get to the meet, so it's not the most friendly parking. North Polk is probably our closest meet. I think we kind of consider that our home meet, just because it's close. I've heard it's in Polk City this year with the new construction that they're doing, kind of like we are. Things are getting shifted around. But those are probably our two closest meets to see this team in action.
Do you think Bondurant will ever get a cross-country course?
I don't know. That's a great question. I know it's in discussions. The hard part is this school district is growing so fast, and we have to make so many accommodations with new schools. There's several other sports that have needs. The good thing is there's land around to potentially make it happen. I've heard potentially behind the middle school, I think that's what it's
Like
called.
the
right?
junior high campus.
The
or
old
the
old junior
intermediate-
high
Oh,
intermediate
intermediate.
school.
Yeah, the intermediate campus, yeah.
Over back that way, but then I've also heard there's going to be roads coming in there as to help ease the flow of traffic before and after school. You've seen it here. It's quite the fun time getting in and out, especially me coming to practice from my full-time job at 3, a little after 3:00, right when school gets out. So that's a need. I hope so. It would be fun to host meets. Our kids deserve the opportunity to be seen, on their own home course. I think we have some fun ideas on how we do it. That's maybe a tease for future, but it would be awesome to have something, or even more soft surface training areas in town. We have the one gravel road just north of the school, and then we have like a 800-meter new trail out here in the neighborhood, and that's really it for us to get on soft surface besides the grass on campus. So just more soft surface running areas in town would be a huge plus in addition to a course.
Awesome. Well, thank you for hopping on the podcast. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we're excited to see what the cross country team does this year.
Me too. This is awesome. I really appreciate you guys having me on, the school support, the spirit, really, supporting the cross country team. It's going to be awesome. I hope we continue the success and have a lot of fun along the way.
Thanks for coming. I know it might be a little bit of a step down from you hosting your own podcast, The Exchange Zone.
Who knows? You guys are doing awesome. Your first episode went great. I enjoyed watching it. It takes a lot of practice. We did just audio for the first probably 3 or 4 years, and we just started video, and it's a huge adjustment. Like even when we have the headphones on, there's like a 2-second lag with the person sitting next to you. So I'm trying to get adjusted to that. But yes, it's the Iowa Association of Track Coaches. It's just it's probably the only outlet that cross country has in the state of Iowa on a large scale media wise. Yes, other sports get a lot of publicity, and Ben Dewey of Waukee Northwest, he's the track coach there, started about 5 years ago and then brought me on probably a year and a half in, and we've just really are trying to get the word out about some really good cross country in the state of Iowa. We have some very, very talented teams across the state, individuals. Peyton Noe from Ballard was just, she was like 9th at the Olympic trials, and she's just graduated college, or the NCAA finals, sorry. And then Addie Dorenkamp of Valley was just the 5K national champion, and kind of unheard of. People probably never even heard it. So excited to be able to share that story with the state and hopefully larger someday.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 2. Make sure to follow Blue Jay Digital on basically all socials, and go follow CM Media Productions on Instagram and Jasper P. Wilson on Instagram. Thank you for coming into the nest and listening to our podcast.
Remember, it's a great day to be a Blue Jay.